It's alumni night here in the Stroh Center as BGSU Volleyball looks to remain undefeated at home this season as they take on the Northern Illinois Huskies. I'm Andrew Smith of the Falcon Media Sports Network, here with my co-commentator, Aiden Bruick, also of the Falcon Media Sports Network. Yesterday, the Falcons beat the Huskies in a 4-set win that was not particularly close in any given set. NIU took control of the first set, winning 25-19, but the Falcons quickly rebounded and never looked back, winning the next 3 sets without the Huskies scoring more than 16 points in one set. The Falcons now sit at 10-7 overall with a 5-1 MAC record, which is third place in the MAC right now. To read more about the game, go check out the recap on bgfalconmedia.com, where you can find all content relating to BG Athletics. In addition, be sure to follow BG Falcon Media on Facebook and Instagram, as well as BG_FMSN on Twitter X. And tune into the Zig Zone on Sundays at 4 p.m., where a panel of FMSN analysts will discuss everything current in Falcon athletics. Aiden, how are we feeling about this game tonight? Second of a 2-game series against the Huskies here in the Stroh Center.
Well, second game in a 2-game series, of course, you're going to understand more things about your opponent than you do the first time. So much learning that has taken place in the past 24 hours for the Falcons, but that also goes for the Huskies as well. Bowling Green coming off one of their most complete performances of the year last night. After losing that first set that you mentioned, they hit almost 500 the rest of the way, broke a 17-year-old record for hitting percentage in a 4-set match. Understand, we kind of talked a little bit, or you talked about earlier, how no sets in that game were necessarily close. But that doesn't mean that neither of the teams are going to be able to pull it one way, favoring themselves over the other. So still a lot of potentials for there to be close sets tonight. Also, a lot of opportunities for there to be not as close sets, but don't be surprised if this one gets taken past 3.
A really good take, Aiden. Both these teams capable on going very long scoring runs, as we saw in the match last night. The Falcons, like you mentioned, set a hitting percentage record in a 4-set match, hitting .392 in the match last night. The previous record was a .357 hitting percentage against Buffalo all the way back in 2008. Now, the Falcons are still without Lauren Hovey and are still without Lauren Hovey and Amanda Otten. Both still out with injury. Didn't stop the Falcons from winning last night, but obviously the Huskies are going to make some adjustments. What do you think the Falcons did last night that really propelled them to that victory, and what do you think the Huskies need to do to correct their mistakes from last night?
Well, of course, 13 aces against NIU yesterday, tying the program, they came from 4 different players. So you can clearly tell that BG is not making this a one-player effort. It's spread out all across the court. BG going to need to force NIU off the net to make up for the loss of Otten and Hovey. But suddenly their NIU's middles like Bell are a non-factor. So if you are able to make these middle blockers run a little bit farther out from where their zone is, you're going to be just fine. NIU, on the other hand, essentially just avoid it. Do the opposite of what BG's throwing at you. If you're able to get over the hump of moving their middle blockers around, it's really not going to be that much of an issue for NIU if they're able to keep these rallies going long. So NIU, play the long game, draw out these points, and finish strong set after set. I think that's the key for NIU to win this game.
I really like what you say there about NIU should look to draw out these points here, force BG into long rallies, because the Falcons, without Hovey and Otten on the court, 2 of their leaders, 2 of their best players, are really going to struggle with that factor in this match. I think they struggled in the rallies in the first set yesterday. I think they'll continue to struggle a little bit with them here tonight. The Falcons really put themselves ahead because of those service aces that you mentioned. Tied a record in a 4-set match that was previously set in 2021 of 13 service aces as a team. And in particular, Sydney Hernandez the sophomore libero of the Falcons, had 5 of those service aces, which is the most in one match in her career and the most in a single match of any Falcon this season. So serving will continue to be a big factor for the Falcons. They'll hope to clean up some of those service errors that they had 12 service errors yesterday. Well, the Huskies will have to focus on their serve receive and, like you said, drawing out these points, not allowing themselves to get aced.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think it's very essential that you do mention Anna Shitek's name. Sophomore setter taking the position of Amanda Otten after Otten went down against Toledo. During their match yesterday, Shitek stepped up in the starting role, 27 assists, 3 aces, 3 digs on the night, filling in the role for Otten. I'd say pretty effectively, regardless of whether or not Otten's in, regardless of whether or not Hovey is in. This team for the Falcons especially is something that, what's it called? The poise that this team's playing with, that's a good word. The poise that this team is playing with, the next man up mentality that you always have to play with in any given sport where you got more than a couple of guys playing at a time. So BG taking over, Shitek making her stand, and assuming we're going to see that again tonight.
Absolutely. Shitek having herself a great game. Had to come in for Otten when Otten went down with injury to her knee in the matchup against Toledo on Tuesday. Went down in the beginnings of that third set. So Shitek had to come in and play the last 2 sets of that one. Looked very uncomfortable in that match, given the situation. Anyone would be, but looked a lot more comfortable on the court last night, especially in the later sets. And what was interesting about the Falcons last night is they ran 2 setters. In addition to Shitek, Belle Lauby came in and set for the Falcons. Had never set before for the Falcons and came in, did a very, very good job considering it was her first time setting. Had 13 assists as well as 2 service aces of her own. In addition, Jessica Andrews was replaced by Maria Tabak in many points during that set. Tabak subbed in for Andrews when Lauby came onto the floor and made the offense have a different look, but a look that allowed them to win those 3 sets and take the match. Now, NIU struggled mightily with serve receiving communication in the last match. How can they clean that up, do you think, Aiden?
Well, it's all about heads up. And that's something that you don't just see in volleyball, but something that is enunciated further on the volleyball court. Of course, you're going to need to know who is getting what, and that is essential to being a good volleyball team. NIU, you said it, had some communication issues yesterday, but if you have communication issues, most of the time they're coming off of mistakes. That's something that you really hammer down in practice. And I can tell you for a fact that a Division I institution, MAC school, like NIU, are not going to make that mistake again. So what I think happened is they went back to the drawing board and said, hey guys, we need to communicate better. We need to be better on the floor, talking to each other and making sure that we all have the heads up. If they aren't doing that, then they're not fixing the problem, and that is a problem that they need to fix.
You're absolutely right, Aiden. A lot can change in 24 hours. We will see how this match shakes out. We'll be right back with starting lineups after this quick break. You're listening to BG Volleyball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
The Zig Zone, Falcon Media Sports Network's weekly radio show dedicated to BGSU athletics, has a new segment. Make sure to tune into the show every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. to listen to the one-on-one segment, where Holden Ruck will interview a key figure in BGSU athletics.
BGSU football hosts the rival Toledo Rockets in the Battle of I-75 on Saturday, October 11th at noon. The Falcons are currently 2-3 and are looking to bounce back after an opening MAC loss to the Ohio Bobcats. Falcon Media Sports Network's Sean Connolly, Tyler Kavelitz, and Lucas Kleinmeyer will form the broadcast trio at Dwight L. Perry Stadium. Before the action gets started, Nate Hinners and Adam Duffin will start the pregame coverage at 11:35 on Falcon Radio.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
For the second straight year, Falcon Media Sports Network is partnering with WBGU PBS to broadcast Falcon men's and women's soccer matches. Tune in to WBGU PBS YouTube's live streams to hear Lucas Kleinmeyer, Henry Costco, and other Falcon Media Sports Network talent on the call.
And welcome back to the Stroh Center, where the Bowling Green Falcons are taking on the NIU Huskies. We're here with the starting lineups. Aiden's going to walk us through the starting lineup for the Huskies.
Without a doubt, Andrew. So the thing about NIU, running a 6-2, so you're going to see more faces on the floor. Starting out, number 2, Ella Strausberger, 5'10", sophomore setter. Next, we got number 3, Ava Grevengood, followed by Kylie Scholes, Emma McCartney, Riley Alvin, Alexa Hayes, Naomi Dowd, Autumn Flynn, and Jordan Tinsky. That's going to be your starting lineup for the Huskies tonight.
And for the Falcons, not the typical starting lineup with both Hovey and Otten out, but familiar faces on the board. Sydney Hernandez, as she has been, will be the starting libero for the Falcons. Anna Shatek will be coming in at setter. Jessica Andrews will be playing the right side. Avery Hobson will be on the outside. Kendall Williams will be manning the middle along with Helen Wilford. And along with Hobson will be Edita Vazvavchik on the outside. And that is your BG Falcon starting lineup tonight, as we are just about ready for game time here in the Stroh Center. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more BG Volleyball after this short break here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
For the second straight year, Falcon Media Sports Network is partnering with WBGU PBS to broadcast Falcon men's and women's soccer matches. Tune in to WBGU PBS YouTube's live streams to hear Lucas Kleinmeyer, Henry Costco, and other Falcon Media Sports Network talent on the call.
This is Falcon Media Sports Director Lucas Kleinmeyer, and you're listening to Falcon Radio, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
And welcome back to the Stroh Center here in Bowling Green, Ohio, as the Falcons are set to take on the Huskies of Northern Illinois in this MAC volleyball matchup. They've just gotten done announcing both starting lineups here in the Stroh, so just a few moments before game time here. Aiden, a few final thoughts before the match starts here.
Well, of course, Andrew. Listen, it's going to be a long game, evidenced by what we saw yesterday. It's going to be won in the small victories on the court. It's going to be interesting to see what these two teams both decided to improve on 24 hours after their last meeting. So it's going to be very, very fun to watch, without a doubt.
A very fun game to watch indeed. It was a fun one to watch yesterday. Hoping for the same result tonight. We may see this one go to 4 sets or 5 sets. Although NIU, beyond the first set, did not look like the same team that beat Western Michigan in their previous matchup before facing BG. They have made some adjustments, I'm sure, in these 24 hours, and they're ready to get some revenge after yesterday. The communication will most likely be better on the Huskies side, like we've mentioned. And BG is looking strong despite the absence of their two best players with this new two-setter lineup that they're attempting to run. BG typically just running the one-setter with Amanda Otten, but with her out of the picture for now, this two-setter look has been going well as Kylie Schultz is back to serve for the Huskies, puts it over. Shatek sets up Andrews in the middle, who throws it down.
And that is a great set by Shatek, putting it down for Andrews. If you could have seen that ball flying at about 50 miles an hour, I mean, what a spike.
An absolute rip from the senior middle blocker, who looked to go to the middle there on that attack, as now NIU will attempt to attack, but it's blocked by Wilford and Andrews after the Hobson serve. Snuffed out that attack as BG out to an early 2-0 lead in this first set. They got out to early leads in the second and third set yesterday, which is what led to those victories, as another Hobson serve results in an NIU attack, but the Falcons pick it up. Wilford now with an attack in the middle. She's going to tip it over, and it will fall to the floor. So a 3-0 lead now for the Falcons. The Huskies will need to end this run quickly. Hobson with another serve, poorly picked up. NIU will get it over, though. A free ball now for the Falcons. Set to Vosvachik, and she will get a nice swing and a kill to the back corner.
Vosvachik really sent it to the corner there, forces NIU to take one of their 90-second timeouts. The serve run is exactly how Bowling Green breaks matches open, and they're not overpowering serves. You're going to see with Hobson not trying to kill off the serve, more about accuracy, getting the points going. BG playing into the rally ball that NIU is trying to play right now.
An accurate description there. Hobson had a service ace in the match yesterday. 15 on the season, 27 service errors for her on the year, as BG out to an early 4-0 lead. Huskies calling early timeout again, like they did in the sets yesterday. Not a good thing to be forced to spend your timeout so early, a very valuable thing. You get 2 per set, so you really want to try to hold on to them, especially if a set goes to extras. But this one going to be called early again by Husky head coach Sandra Diamore in her 3rd season as a head coach of NIU. Taking a timeout here just to reset her team. Doesn't want a repeat of yesterday, where the Falcons just kept their momentum going and kept going on these runs. As now Hobson will go back to serve yet again. Her 4th straight serve here. Bouncing the ball, waiting for the referee's whistle, gets it, tosses it up, puts it over. Picked up nicely by NIU. Now a middle attack, tipped over. Vosvachik picks it up, set to Wilford in the middle. NIU keeps it alive. Nice swing, but Hernandez with a nice play to keep it up. Now a free ball to NIU. Big opportunity here. Set from Schultz, swung on, and a kill for Riley Alvin down the middle.
Hernandez didn't get a lot of hand on that. Didn't get a lot of hand on that save. Not something that you typically see out of her this early.
Oh, and somehow that ball off the service kept alive, bounced off Andrews' head, and Hernandez got it over the net. Now Wilford going to be called for a net violation after NIU went for an outside attack there. So 4-2 now. The score is the Huskies making a run to get right back in this game. Serve over the net. Hobson picks it up. Shatek to Andrews, and Andrews will get another kill off the NIU block.
That's a pretty spike by Andrews. Exactly where she wants it to be. You could see NIU a little confused by what BG was doing in the front right next to the net.
Hernandez now back to serve for the Falcons. Had 5 in the match yesterday as Schultz now sets to the back row. Gravenger with a nice swing. Now the Falcons return the favor, but it's picked up again by NIU. Now McCartney on the outside. And a great kill by Emma McCartney, the sophomore from Cleveland.
Jordan Tinsky, NIU libero, got a really nice touch on that kill, or on the potential kill. So we'll see what she gets going here. Hopefully has a little bit more confidence to get things going.
And she gets a nice serve there. Nice touch. Floats it just over the net. Tinsky, not a service ace, but a great serve nonetheless, and it gets a point on the board for the Huskies. 5-4 now, your score in this first set. Tinsky serves again, another light floater that Andrews picks up nicely. Shatek with a set across court to Vosvavchik, who gets a tip over the block and gets herself another kill.
And on that tip, faked out both NIU blockers. Both Huskies up in the front were confused. Vaclavchik going to be able to use that to her advantage. Hopefully it's something she can exploit further and further into this match. That goes for all of our middle blockers.
Now Belle Lauby and Maria Tabak checked into the game for the Falcons. Lauby back to serve, puts it over, picked up by NIU, and another kill for McCartney on the outside. She got off to a great early start in the match yesterday. Nothing has changed tonight. As now back to serve is another one of the NIU setters. They run that 2-setter lineup. It's Strasburger. She puts it over, picked up by Hernandez, set by Lauby to Vosvavchik. Her swing goes back over. She tips it, and NIU is unable to get it back over. The overpass goes back to Vosvavchik. She tips it over, and NIU can't return it.
Husky Emma McCartney. Outside hitter Emma McCartney for the Huskies. Got a hand on that, wasn't able to get it up in time. Fell a little bit flat, caused BG to get the point.
As Avery Anders, the sophomore from North Olmsted, Ohio, puts her serve into the net. So the score will be 7-6 in favor of the Falcons. As McCartney serves, Belle Lauby sets for the Falcons. Tabak now with a swing. Picked up by McCartney. Bump set by Tinsky. Tipped over. Falcons keep it alive. Tabak with another chance, but that's picked up cleanly. McCartney with a serve to Gravenger. Gravenger puts it out of bounds. So a point for BG.
Strausberger for the Huskies. Really nice showing. Not much else I can say other than that. Really was able to spread her feet on the floor. Do way more than just what a position outlines for her team.
Kendall Williams now serves for the Falcons. Puts it over, and Gravenger through the block. Graven Good, excuse me. A nice kill for her. As now Autumn Flynn, the middle blocker, will put her serve into the net. Flynn had herself a nice game yesterday. 7 kills on 17 total attacks, as well as a block. Played well despite the Huskies' 4-set loss. So the score will be 9-7 Falcons still in the lead in the first set. Anna Shatek back to serve. Tosses it up, puts it over. Picked up by McCartney. Set by Strasburger. Swung on by Gravengood. Falcons keep it alive. Now Hobson with a swing. Overpass by NIU. Falcons get it back over, but not a swing on it. So Gravengood will get another chance. It will be blocked. Tipped up to the Falcons. Shatek. Now Andrews. She's blocked by NIU. But going to be 4 touches on the Falcons. NIU did not get hands on that ball. Went off the net. And so 4 touches on the Falcons. 9-8 the score. Big rally there that NIU came out victorious in. As now Schultz back in the game to serve for her team. This serve picked up but not cleanly by Anders. Shatek forced to just bump it over. Free ball for NIU. Swung on by Gravengood. Kept up by Anders, but it falls to the floor as it's all tied up at 9 here in the Stroh Center.
And as fast as BG was able to get to a start, NIU out of their huddle, get this thing right back tied up.
As now the NIU serve goes over. The Falcons get an attack up the middle to Wilford, but her ball will go off the net and fall out of bounds, not touched by NIU. So NIU with their first lead of this match is now a service ace for Schultz.
The initial touch off the serve wasn't able to get off of her, off of her wrist. Just unfortunate. Hopefully they fix it for next time.
Schultz with another serve. Shatek to Hobson, who's blocked at the net by Alvin. Alvin was a great blocker in yesterday's match, really affecting the Falcons, especially in the first and second sets, as now the Falcons are forced to call timeout. Coach Del Piombo talking with her setter, Anna Shatek. We will take a break with them. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more BG Volleyball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
For the second straight year, Falcon Media Sports Network is partnering with WBGU PBS to broadcast Falcon men's and women's soccer matches. Tune in to WBGU PBS YouTube's live streams to hear Lucas Kleinmeyer, Henry Costco, and other Falcon Media Sports Network talent on the call.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Welcome back to BG Volleyball on WBGU 88.1 FM as the Falcons are down 12-9 to the NIU Huskies, as the serve of Kylie Schultz is giving the Falcons a lot of trouble here. She puts it over again. Anders picks this one up cleanly. Shatek with a swing by Andrews. Picked up nicely, though. A free ball now, though, for the Falcons. NIU unable to get a swing. Now Hobson with a swing. Kept up by NIU, but it's going to be another bump over the net. So another free ball for the Falcons. Forced to go to Hobson again, and it's going to go out of bounds. As a nice point there for the Huskies. A great job of containing the Falcons despite having to give them 2 free balls. As now Hernandez digs out Schultz. And now a kill from Hobson on a nice set by Shatek.
You can tell Hobson very disappointed with how she overshot that last spike. Making the change for that point, able to stop Schultz.
Hobson with an absolute rip through the block there, as now she will go back to serve. Puts it a little long, but McCartney digs it out nicely. Dowd now with a tip, picked up spectacularly with a diving attempt by Sydney Hernandez, but Vazvavchik is blocked at the net. Hernandez still on the floor from her dive, was unable to get there to try to pick it up again.
That ball threaded between Sheetek and Hobson. Just neither of them able to close out. That's how NIU got the point.
Graven Good now with a serve. Bowling Green will tip it over via Jessica Andrews. And now with a swing is McCartney. She goes off the BG block and out of bounds, so another point. Goes off the BG block and falls inside the court. So now the Falcons will take that point. It will be 14-11. Still in favor of the Huskies as Sydney Hernandez back to serve. Nice serve by her. NIU forced to tip it over. Dug out by Sheetek. Bump set by Hernandez. Swung on by Andrews, but out of bounds. BG looking for a touch. They will get it. 14-12 now the score.
Andrews fired that one through. Lucky NIU had a touch on it.
Hernandez now back to serve. Puts it into the net. And so 15-12 now the score. Another service error by the Falcons. Coach Carter, in my interview yesterday with her, was very clear that she wanted to clean up those service errors after the Falcons committed 12 yesterday. So Falcons will look to clean that up as this game goes on. As now Jessica Andrews will get herself another kill off a slide attack. Swings it off the block.
BG only 2 points off of tying this thing back up, trying to get a run going. They have successfully started it. It's all about the finishing.
Falcons down by 2. Looking to get a break point here as Laube and Tabak have checked back into the game. Laube serves it over. Picked up by Gravengood. Tipped back over by the Huskies. Hernandez with a bump set to Vazvavchik. Tipped over. NIU keeps it alive. Their tip blocked by the Falcons, but they keep it up. Another chance for McCartney. She goes out of bounds, and the Falcons will take the point.
Isabel Laube coming in and making a difference. You can see the few sets that she had during that point looked really solid, setting up her team for success.
Laube came into the match yesterday and really altered the course of the match after the Falcons dropped the first set, helped turn it around. As a rally's getting going here, McCartney on the attack will be blocked. NIU keeps it up. Now a swing from the middle and a kill for Flynn. Autumn Flynn getting herself in the kill column for this match. 7 yesterday. Had a great match despite the loss. As now a serve by Strasburger. Vazvavchik will hit it over. Huskies will get it back. Now Hayes with an attack, and she's blocked by Vazvavchik and Williams at the net. The Falcon block came up big in the third and fourth sets yesterday to stop any hopes of a comeback by the Huskies. We'll see what happens here in this one if the BG blocking can step up again. As now a service ace for Avery Anders. NIU unable to pick it up cleanly. First ace of the night for Anders and first ace of the night for the Falcons. Anders puts this one over. Now picked up cleanly by Tinsky. Tipped over by Flynn, kept alive by the Falcons. Set by Hernandez. Hobson with the swing, goes off the block. Somehow Falcons keep it alive, but it's going to be a free ball now. Huskies up the middle again with Flynn, but it's kept up by Hernandez. Laube now with a set to Hobson, who swings on it and gets a kill. A nice cut shot by Hobson to the 10-foot line that Tinsky was unable to pick up cleanly.
Hobson, diagonal angle on her shot over. Looked really solid. NIU taking a timeout.
NIU takes their second time out of the first set. We'll take it with them. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more BG Volleyball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network, you can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
For the second straight year, Falcon Media Sports Network is partnering with WBGU PBS to broadcast Falcon men's and women's soccer matches. Tune in to WBGU PBS YouTube's live streams to hear Lucas Kleinmeyer, Henry Costco, and other Falcon Media Sports Network talent on the call.
And welcome back to the Stroh Center, where Bowling Green Volleyball has taken the lead 17-16 over the NIU Huskies here in the first set of this match, as Avery Anders is back to serve for the Falcons yet again, her third straight. She puts it over. Looked to be going out, but Gravengood dicks it out anyway. Bumped up by Trinsky. The swing by McCartney goes off the antenna, and it will be another point for the Falcons, putting together a run here in the latter half of this first set. Avery Anders has herself 12 service aces on the season, has added one to that total tonight, so 13 total. As NIU will pick up her serve, get a swing to the middle from Flynn, and get themselves another kill off the BG block. 18-17 now the score. BG still in the lead as McCartney now puts the serve over. Hernandez digs it out, but it's long, so a free ball for NIU. Strasburger on the set, swung on by Flynn, and a point for the Huskies as it was tipped by the Falcons. Kendall Williams on the block.
When I said earlier, don't be surprised if this is a little bit closer than you expect. It's just the 24 hours they got to prepare, understanding where their opponent's at, able to make the changes that they need to do.
Much closer than any set was in the match yesterday, as now Maria Tabak with a swing goes off the block, kept alive by NIU. McCartney now with a swing that's picked up nicely by Hernandez. Lauby with a set to Hobson off the block. Can it be kept up? It can be, but it goes right back over, and Hobson throws it down.
And don't discredit Jordan Tinsky from NIU. Keeping that point alive just so happened to end up right in the peripheral of Hobson. She puts it away. What a point from the Falcons, taken way back on the momentum scale.
Tinsky with a great up there. It just so happened to go right back to Hobson due to the momentum, and she made the Huskies pay. As now the serve from Kendall Williams will go into the net, and the Huskies will get the ball back. 19-19 the score, as Hobson now will get another attack. Rolls it over. NIU keeps it up. They get an attack. Hobson now with a dig to keep it up, but it goes back over, so a free ball. Hayes now with a kill. Off the block by Hobson. Tools it well, and the Huskies are back in the lead.
Strasburger obviously meant for Hobson to get baited on the block. Sends it out of bounds. That's heads-up plays by NIU.
As now Flynn will put this one over. Tabak now with an attack and cleanly gets around the block for a no-touch kill. 20-20 is the score.
Maria Tabak, left-handed hit, really just seals the deal for the Falcons. As you said, 20-20. This is where it's made.
This is the closest that any of the sets between these two teams have been so far this season. As Shatek with a serve now. NIU tips it over, kept up by Shatek. Hernandez with a bump set to Hobson, who tips it over. NIU keeps it alive. Now Hayes with a tip, kept up by Andrews. Shatek with a bump set, swung on by Hobson, kept up nicely by McCartney. As Gravengood now swings it over, kept up by the Falcons. Jessica Andrews now with a tip kill onto the 10-foot line around the block.
Andrews, light touch, gets it over the net. 21-20 now. What else can you ask for from Andrews? I mean, that's what you want.
A nice, smart play by the veteran of Andrews as Hobson is now back to serve. She will put it over. Might have gone out of bounds, but McCartney picked it up anyway, as now Graven go with a swing. Hernandez keeps it up. Back to Andrews, and it's blocked. A nice job by Alvin hanging in the air and putting that back down on the Falcons side. 21-21. Things continue to be back and forth in this first set. Is now back to serve is Schultz again.
The pendulum of the match just continuing to keep going, or continuing to go to each side, not staying on one side.
Swinging back and forth indeed. Schultz has been giving the Falcons some trouble with her serve last match and now in this one. Had a service ace against the Falcons, as well as 18 assists and 5 digs. On the season, she has 5 service aces, as well as 260 assists. The other setter, Strasburger, has 309 assists. So that two-setter look for the Huskies has been paying dividends so far this season. They have a winning record overall in the MAC. They're currently at 500 at 3-3. As now we have the officials looking at something here at the scorer's table. Aiden?
Looks like they might be talking about some substitution issues. I have a feeling this is something involving the active officials and the table officials. We're going to see if they can sort things out, get on the same page, hopefully get things running smoother.
Yes, it looked as if the officials at the scorer's table were a bit confused as to the rotations of the Falcons. Probably some issue with the new look they have of Lauby and Shatek being their two setters and checking in for each other, as well as Andrews and Tabak checking in for each other. It's a bit of a confusing rotation, especially for the officials, but it has been working for the Falcons. It worked very well yesterday, has been working today. Score again tied at 21 apiece in this first set in this best-of-5 match. NIU with the serve in the hands of Kylie Schultz, the redshirt junior from Wonder Lake, Illinois. She puts it right into the net. And the Falcons will take back the lead off a service error, 22-21.
That's a gift to the Falcons. We'll see if they capitalize.
Already 5 total service errors in this match as Hobson now with another service error, just missed the outside of the court, as now things are tied up at 22 apiece. Falcons unable to capitalize and give the point back. As Gravengood now with a tough serve, but picked up nicely by Hobson. Back to Andrews on the outside, and she will get a kill through the block. Forces it through. A nice swing by her. 23-22, Falcons approaching set point. As now Sydney Hernandez is back to serve. Had 40 service aces last season. As NIU keeps that alive. It's tipped over by McCartney, and the Falcon block, seeing it going over their heads, touch it, and it goes over the head of the defender behind them, causing the ball to fall to the floor. So things are now tied at 23. As Tinsky is back to serve for the Huskies, she puts it over, picked up by Hernandez, set by Shatek to Andrews, who swings over and gets another kill.
Andrews audibles it in the air. Looks like that wasn't necessarily what the Falcons were planning, but when Sydney Hernandez unfortunately gets a little too much of a wrist on the ball, skies it up into the air, you got to make some changes on the fly. Andrews, great heads-up play.
A great heads-up play, absolutely. Turning something into nothing there. Lauby now with a serve for the Falcons. Set by Schultz, swung on by McCartney, but dug up by Hernandez. Another swing now from Flynn, but it's tipped over, so the Falcons keep it up. Lazvavchik swings on it. It will fall out of bounds, but it's touched by the Huskies. So the final score of the first set is 25-23. Falcons take it up 1-0 now in the match. We're going to take a break here and be back with more BG volleyball action here on WBGU 88.1 FM. Don't go anywhere.
This is Phil Beskid, BGSU Radio Faculty Advisor. You can catch all the Falcon Media Sports Network broadcasts on our two stations, WBGU 88.1 FM and Falcon Radio, which can both be found on bgfalconmedia.com. Ziggy.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
For the second straight year, Falcon Media Sports Network is partnering with WBGU PBS to broadcast Falcon men's and women's soccer matches. Tune in to WBGU PBS YouTube's live streams to hear Lucas Kleinmeyer, Henry Costco, and other Falcon Media Sports Network talent on the call.
Hey everybody, this is Kevin Hutchinson, host of The Swoop.
And this is Brooke Blake, executive producer for The Swoop. The Swoop is BG24's sports talk show about all things BGSU athletics.
New episodes come out every Thursday at 6 p.m. at bgfalconmedia.com.
Welcome back to the Stroh Center, where the Falcons have taken a 1-0 lead over the NIU Huskies. The Falcons now will look to take a 2-0 lead, as the Huskies will look to tie things up, as the Falcons did yesterday after dropping the first set to NIU at 1 set apiece. Falcons went on to win that match yesterday, didn't give up another set after the first one. NIU probably hoping to do the same thing. Final score of that last set was 25-23, so much closer than any of the sets from the last game.
No, and as I said earlier, if you're just joining us, Andrew and I were talking about pregame. This is going to be a game full of adjustments from yesterday. Everything is unpredictable in volleyball. However, the one thing that you can do is scout and game plan for your opponent. Of course, both of these teams have done exactly that. And they've done probably more of it than they have more of
for
it
any other
for
opponent,
any other
because
opponent,
they have
because
film playing them already.
Yeah,
You're absolutely
exactly
right. As now Anna Shatek will get a start in the second set. A nice serve by her. It's kept alive, though, by NIU, and Gravengood's forced to just tip it over. Shatek now to the middle. Wilford tips it over. It's kept alive, though. It's going to be a free ball from NIU to the Falcons, as Jessica Andrews will swing off the block, but it's going to be denied and fall back onto the Falcons side of the court. A great job again by Alvin, paired up with Gravengood on the outside.
Vatswavchik laid herself out for that one, tried to get a hand on it, wasn't able to succeed. What an effort, though, from the Falcons.
As Gravengood now back to serve. Her serve is long. Alvin tries to tip it down, but the Falcons keep it up. Falcons now tip over an overpass, but the Huskies keep it alive. Now McCartney on the outside swings and gets herself a kill. Basically throwing it around the block on a nice tip play. As Gravengood's back to serve, she bumps it over. Hobson doesn't handle it well, but it falls inside the court. The overpass ends up being a point for the Falcons. A miscommunication by NIU. We saw a lot of those in the second set yesterday.
I wonder if they talked about those.
They must have, but not well enough apparently. As now Dow to the swing for NIU. It's picked up by Hernandez, but it gets too close to the net for Shatek. And the score will be 3-1 in favor of the Huskies in the early goings of this second set. So Huskies out to a nice early lead here.
Sometimes that arc is just too much, dies right before it gets in the net, and makes those sets more unpredictable than you'd think.
As now Tinsky will serve over, picked up by the Falcons. Now a swing from Vazvavchik and a nice kill as it splits the defense.
3-2. Both teams going to go back to their respective locker rooms after this one, so we'll see what adjustments they make after the set. But for now, let's see what they're able to do on the court.
Hernandez now puts this serve over. McCartney now with a swing, and she puts it inside the court, finding the back line and avoiding the block.
And that was pretty. I mean, this is where NIU can be dangerous when their passing is clean, opens up the door for a lot of extra point wins. And the extra point wins are going to be what make up most of your set. So if they're able to get those, conquer, they'll be on top.
They really struggled yesterday simply because they could not serve receive. A lot of miscommunication in the back row. The front row did not get many digs at all either. And it really hurt them to try to get any sort of offense going. They're a very quick offensive team that if they can't get that 1-2-3 happening in system more often, they're going to fall short, and that's exactly what happened yesterday as their serve went into the net. So 4-3 was the score. Served over again by the Falcons. Rally going now. NIU keeps the tip alive. They tip it over. Now Kendall Williams getting into a battle with Flynn, a middle battle, as Flynn sets to McCartney, and McCartney gets a kill. An assist on a nice set by the middle Autumn Flynn.
Textbook volleyball from NIU. That's what's going to be able to get it done. Not every time can you play such unorthodox points. Got to sometimes go back down to basics.
As now a serve by McCartney will be dug out by the Falcons. Unable to get a clean look on her swing is Vazvavchik. And it falls to the floor. 6-3 now the score in favor of the Huskies in this second set. BG with a 1-0 match lead. Hobson will dig out this serve from McCartney. Swung on by Tabak. Attempted to keep it alive as the Falcons, but it goes off the block and falls to the floor. 7-3.
Hernandez, Hobson, essentially in tandem, trying to get that ball up, both sharing the same mindset. And now BGSU going to take one of their 2 timeouts. See what Del Piano says in the huddle. What do you think, Andrew?
Probably just going to tell her team to take a breath, relax, calm themselves down, as the early momentum in this set is going to go to NIU. We're going to take a short break here, and we'll be back with more BG Volleyball after the break. You're listening on WBGU 88.1 FM. Falcons down 7-3 in this second set, up 1-0 in the match. Don't go anywhere.
Bowling Green Volleyball, the preseason MAC regular season and tournament favorites, welcomes the Ball State Cardinals to the Stroh Center on Thursday, October 16th with the first serve set for 6 p.m. The Falcons have won 3 straight matchups against the Cardinals heading into the contest, so catch the live radio broadcast starting at 5:45 with Falcon Media Sports Network's own Ben Korak and Andrew Smith on WBGU 88.1 FM, your home for BGSU Volleyball.
And welcome back to BG Volleyball on WBGU 88.1 FM. We're here in the Stroh Center. The Falcons are down right now in this second set, 7-3 to the NIU Huskies. Falcons won the first set, however, up 1-0 in the match, as back to serve for the Huskies, trying to continue this streak that they're on. is Emma McCartney. She puts this ball over, dug out by Hernandez, not cleanly. Hobson forced a bump step to Wozwawczyk, who swings it over, but it's picked up nicely by NIU. And blocked at the net is Hayes by Wozwawczyk and Williams.
What a block by Wozwawczyk. Don't know if it was the block reception or the way that the ball was hit, but that ball just fell to the ground off the block.
Went right back down to the floor very quickly as Anders now tapes her serve. It's kept up by NIU, though. Gravengood now with the swing that's kept up by Hernandez. Falcons try to keep that one alive, but Hobson's tip is blocked by NIU. Wasn't really able to get a clean look at it. Not a great set by Laube. She knows it, taking full credit for that one. As NIU's Autumn Flynn is now back to serve. The middle blocker puts it over. Falcons forced to give them a free ball. Strasburger sets it to Gravengood. Sets now to Hayes after it rebounds off the block. And Tabak touches that ball when she shouldn't, as Laube had it, and it falls to the floor. 9-4 now the score in favor of the Huskies.
It's all about being on the same wavelength when you're on the court. Sometimes wavelength gets a little wobbly.
Flynn puts this one over. Laube sets it up to the middle, but it's a little... Oh, and it's going to work. It was a little too high for Williams, but Kendall Williams tips it over, and bad communication again by the Huskies that just falls into the center of the floor inside that campfire. And the Falcons take the point. Kendall Williams now back to serve.
Not optimal for NIU. Hopefully they can bounce back.
We'll see. Williams puts it over. McCartney. Hayes bump set to Gravengood. Falcons now with an attack from the from the right side to Maria Tabak, who puts it through the block and gets herself another kill. 6-9 the score in favor of NIU still. Kendall Williams now with her second serve in a row, puts it over. A nice floater picked up by NIU, set by Strasburger. And Anders manages to keep that up off the Gravengood swing, but it's forced to be a free ball from the Falcons. Strasburger to the middle now, and a kill from Alvin. Going up top and over the Kendall Williams block.
Williams misreads where the spike is going. Unfortunate for Williams, she gets taken off, but we all know she'll be right back. Anders on. See what she's able to make a difference here for the Falcons.
Now Schultz back to serve. Puts this one over. Hernandez digs it out. Laube sets it up to Tabak again. Tabak tools the block and gets another kill. Maria Tabak doing what she did yesterday and getting the Falcons much needed kills and killing the NIU momentum there. 7-10 now the score, still in favor of the Huskies. Overall,
sorry about that. Del Piamo talking on the side here. Shetek going to serve for the Falcons.
Shadek checked into the game for Bell Laube, and Andrews checked in for Tabak. As the Falcons will look to get a little bit of a streak going to try to tie this game up or make it closer. A nice swing by Alvin, but it's kept up by the Falcons. Now Wilford with a middle attack. That's blocked by Alvin, kept up by the Falcons. Hobson now with an attack, and it finds the floor on the back line. A nice job by the Falcons staying composed and keeping that one up and finding an opportunity on the outside.
That hit from Hobson wasn't exactly all palm, but still got the job done. Getting it right inside the line, getting a point for the Falcons.
As Shatek will return to the service line. 8-10 is the score in this second set. Falcons up 1-0 in the match. And Shatek will put this one just about a half a foot out of bounds. A good call by the back row of the Huskies to leave that one after they've touched some serves by the Falcons that may have gone long had they left them. 11-8 the score now. Falcons pick up the serve. Hobson rolls it over. Now Schultz with the set to the back row, and a back row kill by Ava Gravengood.
Gravengood able to get it past Shetek. Won't let it stop her. Falcons back up, ready to receive.
Gravengood's now back to serve. She puts it over a nice light serve, but the Falcons dig it out. Hobson now tears it off the block, but Sydney Hernandez is not able to quite get underneath that ball off the block, and it will be a point for NIU. 13-8 the score. NIU starting to pull away here.
Wouldn't be surprised if we see a BG timeout here real soon if NIU is able to keep this going.
As the Falcons now trying an attack from the middle from Jessica Andrews. Some interesting motion play there, and we will see that timeout from Del Piombo as the Huskies go up 14-8 here in the second set. Falcons up 1-0 in the match. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more BG Volleyball on WBGU 88.1 right after this.
For all BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN and head over to BGFalconmedia.com.
Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, there was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and check out BGFalconmedia.com. Hi, Ziggy.
Welcome back to the Stroh Center as the Falcons are down here in this second set to NIU, 14-8. Falcons up in the match, 1-0. As Gravengood will put this serve over. Hernandez will dig it out. Shatek will set it up for Hobson, who tries to get herself a kill, and it flies right to me off of an attempted dig by Dowd.
In the games that I broadcasted with you, you are now 3 for 3 in catching the balls that come flying out your face, Andrew.
You know, I get very defensive of them about to hit my head. I've been hit in the head one too many times by a volleyball. As Dowd comes crashing into the scorer's table trying to keep that one alive. She does. And the Falcons now keep it alive. They swing it over the net. Now McCartney goes off the block. NIU keeps it alive. A free ball again for the Falcons. Hobson bumps it up. Shatek sets a swing by Andrews, and it finds the floor. The Falcons reach 10 points, and it's 14-10. NIU still leads.
Of course, the announcer's jinx is real.
Naomi Dowd absolutely came crashing into the scorer's table. I almost went up to reach for that ball. I'm glad I didn't. That was still in play. As this serve now from the Falcons, Dowd now gets a swing, and she gets herself a kill. The 5'9" freshman from Aurora, Illinois, has played 44 sets for this NIU team this season. She's made herself known on this squad. She has a very athletic family, 3 immediate family members who've played collegiate sports. Her mother played volleyball, sister played volleyball, and her brother played football. So a very athletic family for Naomi Dowd, as the Falcons will take a point back after a service error by the Huskies. 15-11 the score in the second set. Hernandez now puts the ball over. It's dug out by Gravengood, set up by Schultz. Was watching her set, thinking it was going to be good, but McCartney went off the block. Falcons now with a little bit of a free play. Jessica Andrews rips it off the block and gets herself another kill. That's going to be her 9th of the match, approaching double digits now and leading the Falcons. NIU will take their second and final timeout of this set.
Looked like NIU there. Kylie Scholes. It's been a game of heads up, okay? And I know I've said it a lot, but that's just how it is here in the Stroh at the moment. Scholes recognizes that her team not really closing in on the ball as it gets tipped up, by Williams. looked like a very, very good dig by Stolz. She's got 11 assists on the night, 4 digs. Add that to the total.
11 assists on the night. Halfway through the second set, very good mark for a setter who's running a 6-2 offense and is only getting half those opportunities. NIU still leads here, 15-12. And they're trying to tie this thing up at 1 set apiece. And excuse me, that was their first timeout of this set, not their second. So they still have 1 to spend if they wish to later on. Hopefully for them that they don't have to spend it and they can win this set, closing it out before the Falcons make any sort of a attempt at tying things up or taking a lead. But a comfortable 3-point lead for the Huskies as Sydney Hernandez will return to the service line. She doesn't have any service aces so far tonight, but she leads the Falcons with 23 on the season. She puts it over. Tinsky will pick it up. Dowd with another attack now, tips it over. Vazvopchik keeps it up, and now we'll get an attack, and she will get a kill. A nice roll to the middle of the court that the Huskies were unable to keep up.
Quite honestly, not really sure what Gravengood and Tinsky are doing back there. Just some miscommunication, of course, but that's going to be something that's pretty easily solvable.
A few miscommunications like that last night as well, as now Dowd will get herself another attack. It's picked up by the Falcons, but it's long and out of bounds. So Dowd will get herself another kill in the column, and NIU will get the ball back to serve. 16-13 the score in the second set, as the setter Ella Strasburger will go back to serve. The sophomore puts it over, might get a service ace. No, Hobson manages to keep it up, and Hernandez gets it back over. A free ball, though, for the Huskies to Autumn Flynn, and it's blocked by Kendall Williams. And Edita Vazvopchik came over to help there. A nice heads-up play by her to help her middle on that block.
And that was Hobson. It was Hobson to Hernandez to Williams. 1, 2, 3. Getting it done, keeping it alive, and regardless of whether or not you're giving them a free ball, it's still a way to keep the point alive and opens up the opportunity.
The only thing you have to do is keep the ball in the air, as Tinsky now receives this ball nicely. It will be tipped over, though, so the Falcons have a chance here. Vazvopchik goes for a kill, but it's blocked. Hernandez unable to save it cleanly. It falls out of bounds, and NIU now with a 17-14 lead. Looking to close out this set, looking to reach 21st, as McCartney now will serve a rip that's picked up by Hernandez. Laube tries to tip it over, but she reaches over the net. That's going to be a violation, and the Huskies will take the point. 18-14, now the score. McCartney with another rip on her serve. It's picked up this time by Hobson, set up by Laube. Tabak tips it over. Tinsky touches that ball that she shouldn't. She's up near the 10-foot line to guard on a line shot, on a swing, and left in the back middle is McCartney to patrol the back half that's beyond the 10-foot line. So that was McCartney's ball there, and the libero touched it too soon. It falls to the floor, and the Falcons get that point. Avery Anders serving now, picked up by McCartney, set up by Strasburger. Hayes with a tip over on the right side. Falcons keep it up. Laube with and Hobson on the swing, and Hobson with the kill. Manages to tuck it into that back corner nicely.
Hobson calls point as soon as he jumps it, or excuse me, as soon as she jumps into the air. Gets a good point for the Falcons, puts them within 2.
Huskies unable to close on the block there, and Hobson takes the opportunity as Strasburger puts 2 hands on that ball and gets the double. So the Falcons will take that point as well, and NIU will spend their second timeout, and we will take the break with them. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. This is BG Volleyball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
For the second straight year, Falcon Media Sports Network is partnering with WBGU PBS to broadcast Falcon men's and women's soccer matches. Tune in to WBGU PBS YouTube's live streams to hear Lucas Kleinmeyer, Henry Costco, and other Falcon Media Sports Network talent on the call.
And welcome back to BG Volleyball here on Falcon Radio. As now back to serve is Avery Anders for the Falcons, who have made this a 1-point set here. 18-17 the score. Huskies still in the lead. NIU looking to close out this set. Falcons looking to go up 2-0 in the match. Huskies a little bit of bad service, but they will get an attack out of it, and Hayes will get a kill out of it. A nice job by the Huskies turning nothing into something there. As now back to serve is Autumn Flynn, the middle blocker. She puts it over, dug out by Sydney Hernandez. Set up by Lauby. Tabak with the kill. Targeting Flynn on the attack. The middle blocker unprepared in the back row. And the Falcons close it back to within one.
Substitution now for Bowling Green. Looks like Flynn immediately gets taken off. However, not a mistake that she makes very often. Would only be the second time she's made it in the match so far. Now, who's coming in for Bowling Green?
Coming in for Bowling Green is Anastasia Bozic, the freshman from Pančevo, Serbia. She will put this one over. A nice serve by her. Going to force an emergency set from NIU and a tip over. Lauby now with a set back to Tabak, and Tabak off of Tinsky, and another kill for Tabak.
Something really important here. Tinsky has not stopped smiling the entire time. It's a way to keep it positive. It goes for both teams.
Absolutely. It's important to keep a positive mindset, especially when you end up making a mistake, because you're going to in this sport. It's just going to happen over the course of the match. 19-19 now the score is Hayes with a rip that Avery Anders manages to keep up cleanly. Tabak now with an attack. Goes off the net. It stays up. Strasburger with a set that's blocked. Absolutely erased by Helen Wilford and Maria Tabak on the outside attack by Gravengood. 2019, the Falcons take the lead for what I believe is the first time this set. Bozic puts it over. Strasburger with a nice setter dump. Nice job to stop the Falcon momentum with a quick setter dump.
NIU led it multiple times throughout this set by as much as 5. BG able to pull things back in, but NIU stopping the momentum momentarily, hoping to get the edge back on the Falcons.
Schultz now back to serve for the Huskies. She has had a great game so far, has herself 12 assists and an ace. Puts this one over. Falcons dig it out. Tabak with the swing. It's going to be blocked, but the Falcons keep it up. Now Hobson with a swing. It goes out of bounds, but off the block. Looks like NIU will challenge, though, and they will. So they're going to go ahead and take a look at this. We're going to let them. We'll be right back with more BGVB on Falcon Radio right after this.
This is Kevin Hutchinson, host of BG24's The Swoop, and you're listening to Falcon Radio, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
And the Falcons will not get that point. The challenge successful for Demore. And the score will now be 21-20 in favor of the Huskies. But the Falcons strike right back with a kill from Maria Tabak. Takes advantage of the late block by Alvin and puts it right down in the middle of the court of the Huskies. Everything's tied up here in the second set at 21 apiece. Falcons leading the match 1-0.
So sorry to correct you here. That was Emma McCartney who tried to get the dig. Couldn't get it done inside, but is what it is.
I meant Alvin on the block there. Beat Alvin on the block. As now Gravengood will go for a swing, but it's blocked by the Falcons. Actually didn't even touch the Falcons. Went off the net, and it's going to be 4 touches by NIU, and the Falcons will take that point, take the lead, 22-21.
Cheerleaders getting loud.
Shatek now back to serve for the Falcons. Puts it over. Dug out by Tinsky. Bumped up by Schultz on the set. Gravengood now with a swing, but it's dug up nicely by Avery Anders. Swung now by Jessica Andrews, and she will get a kill. Finding the floor on the line attack on the slide, 23-20. Now in favor of BGSU. Referees now having a conversation with NIU coaches. Look to be discussing with Kylie Schultz there. Not sure what that was about. Score remains the same. 23-21, favor the Falcons in this second set. Shatek puts it over. Dug out by McCartney. Now Gravengood will have an attack, and she's blocked at the net by the duo of Andrews and Wilford. And it's set point here in the Stroh Center. Everybody in the stands on their feet.
That's the real turning point. Set point. Hard to get back from that. See if NIU are able to recover. 24-21.
NIU would have to go on a 3-point streak here. And it looks like, and yes, Shatek with the ace to win the second set. BG goes up 2-0 on the match. We're going to take a break here in preparation for the third set. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with BG Volleyball here on Falcon Radio.
Miss a BGSU sports broadcast? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to listen to past calls by Falcon Media Sports Network.
Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, there was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and check out BGFalconMedia.com. Hi, Ziggy.
Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media takes pictures for nearly all BGSU and Bowling Green related events throughout the year. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com, check out thousands of photos and all the content.
BGSU women's tennis travels to the University of Illinois in Champaign and Urbana, Illinois, where top individuals will compete in the ITA Regionals on Thursday, October 16th through Tuesday, October 21st. Make sure to head over to bgfalconmedia.com for the recap of the event and content about the women's tennis team and all things BGSU athletics by Falcon Media Sports Network members.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
For the second straight year, Falcon Media Sports Network is partnering with WBGU PBS to broadcast Falcon men's and women's soccer matches. Tune in to WBGU PBS YouTube's live streams to hear Lucas Kleinmeyer, Henry Costco, and other Falcon Media Sports Network talent on the call.
Women's tennis travels east to Pennsylvania to face off with Slippery Rock for a tennis match on October 11th at noon. The matchup will be the team's first head-to-head competition with a single university outside of invitationals. BG swept the Rocks in their only ever matchup in 2024, 7-0. Check out the recap written by Falcon Media Sports Network's Aiden Bruick on bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here to the Stroh Center for more BG Volleyball on Falcon Radio. Right now, some BG Volleyball alumni being honored at center court here for Alumni Night. Aiden, how are you feeling so far? Falcons up 2-0 in this match, winning that second set after being down for most of it to the Huskies.
For sure. Andrew, I'll put it this way. As far as Huskies are concerned, they've just got to communicate better. Honestly, the same goes for BG. Mistakes that can be easily cleaned up are what are costing both of these teams easy peasy points. I mean, at the end of the day, communication is key. But also at the end of the day, you got to communicate and finish points strong. So what do you want to focus on? You want to focus on the fundamentals, or do you want to focus on communication? Or do you want to get a good mix of the both that make you succeed in the long run? It's going to be interesting to see what both of these teams can do, but there's multiple things that can happen when you put your hands on the volleyball. Not every single one of them is good. So we'll see what they're able to do here. Easier said than done on the court for both the Falcons and the Huskies. Andrew?
Like you said, Aiden, it's a mix of communication and making sure those fundamentals are sound. Everything starts with that serve receive, which is where that mix truly needs to happen, of getting the fundamentals down, of picking that ball up nicely and communicating with your teammates in the back row to give yourselves the best opportunity to get a nice swing on the ball. Now NIU here, I think what they need to look for is they need to look for points out of system. They got a few there in the first and second set, and that really made it competitive for them. But if they want to win, they have to win more of those rallies that stay out of system. As they will serve the ball over here from Graven Good. It's kept up by the Falcons. Hobson now with a swing, and it's going to land out of bounds. So NIU will take the first point here. And Graven Good will serve again. Another light serve. Andrews picks this one up. Shatek manages to keep it in the air, but Wilford unable to get it over in three as it lands right by us. Aiden, a nice catch as that ball bounced over the media table.
My hands were up before it even landed.
Gravengood now with another good serve. Hobson off the net with this swing. Manages to tool the block regardless. A great job by Avery Hobson, the transfer from Duquesne.
Hobson making a big difference for the Falcons this season. Looks like she fits right in with the squad, especially with such a family-oriented type of coaching style that Del Piamo goes with.
She has fit in beautifully here. Team hasn't missed a beat. Her serve picked up by NIU. The tip goes through the block of the Falcons and falls to the floor. So NIU out to a quick lead here, 3-1. Very similar to what we saw in that second set. The issue for them will be to maintain it. Shatek now with a set to Andrews, who will tip it over. It's kept alive by Gravengood. Dowd now with an attack. It will go off the block and out of bounds. So 4-1 is now the score.
And this is exactly what NIU did to start the second set. If BG are able to wrap things back around, they're not going to go down by 5 and be forced to take one of their timeouts.
The Falcons are looking to stop this scoring run. Not going to happen like that. Shatek comes crashing into the scorer's table again. It's happened twice now. Is it just where I'm sitting as the Falcons put it over? NIU returns the favor, and Shatek with a receiving error there. And the Huskies go up 5-1. Maybe we will see another early Del Piombo timeout.
And it's growing pains on Shatek's side, but growing pains are just from growing.
Shatek now with a nice set to Leslavchik, who gets a kill. So maybe that timeout will stay in the pocket of Del Piombo a little while longer, as the score is now 5-2 in favor of NIU. BG up in the match 2-0. Hernandez now with a nice serve, picked up by Tinsky, kept alive by Schultz on the set, swung on by McCartney. Falcons keep it up thanks to the block. Shatek puts in the air for Leslavchik, who throws it down again. Eddie with 2 kills in a row.
Leslavchik talking to her teammates as they get into their post-point huddle. Very positive. Positive outlook.
It's important to keep a positive mentality in volleyball with how long these games can end up dragging on for. You're never going to be able to have a perfect game in volleyball where you shut out another team. There are no shutouts in volleyball, as another kill for Eddie. The Falcons doing a great job feeding her right now. She is the hot hand. Hernandez now with another serve, picked up by Gravengood, set by Schultz, and swung through the middle by Flynn. Flynn with a nice kill up the seam.
NIU making a substitution. Excuse me, NIU making a substitution here.
NIU subbing in their other setter, Strasburger. She will go in and serve right now for the Huskies. Toss it up, puts it over. Set by Shatek, back to Leslavchik. Puts it off the block, kept alive by NIU. Strasburger now with a set. And a nice swing by McCartney, who came from out of nowhere and threw it down.
You can see Otten still into the game on the bench. Smiling, as is Hovey.
Both of them are born competitors. Just because they're injured doesn't mean they're going to stop being competitors. As the Falcons put this serve back over the net. It was just a tip, though, so NIU keeps it alive, but forced to give Falcons a free ball. Ripped off the block by Andrews, but kept alive. Huskies now with a free ball, set up by Strasburger to the outside to McCarthy. Blocked by the Falcons. McCarthy now with another chance, but it's blocked by Williams. Williams, the freshman, a great job by her staying active as the middle blocker.
Williams enabling this Stroh Center audience to get loud, get rowdy, and really ooh and ah in between hits during the point.
A great job by her. Like I said, just a freshman on the squad, standing at 6'1", the shortest of the BG middles, but plays taller than she is as Belle Lauby will serve it over now. Hayes with a tip attack. Hernandez keeps it alive nicely. Lauby now to Tabak on the right side. Swing for her, kept alive. Set by Flynn. And the Falcons somehow managed to put that over. Would have fallen out of bounds, but the Huskies keep it up. Now Hayes with another tip, kept up by Hernandez. Hobson now with a bump set to Vazvavchik. Kept up and put into the net on the attack by McCartney. That was such a good rally to end in such an underwhelming way.
Forget a heads-up play. That's a talons-up play.
The Falcons will take that point. The score, 6-7, still in favor of NIU. As NIU now will get another point going back up the middle with Autumn Flynn. Flynn gets herself another kill as she swings off the block of Williams. As now back to serve is McCartney. Lauby now with a set to Vazvavchik. Kept up. Lauby now turns to Tabak. Tabak swings and misses over the back line. 9-6 in favor of NIU.
Not a problem here for the Falcons or for the Huskies, for that matter. Huskies kind of drawn it back. Let BG get a little close, but wrapping things in a bow.
Lauby now with a set to the outside to Vazvavchik again, and she gets herself a kill, tooling the block. Truly the hot hand here in this third set to start. A lot left to be played here as Avery Anders will go back to serve for the Falcons. She tosses it up, puts it over. It's dug out by McCartney. Bumped up by Strasburger, tipped over by Gravengood. Falcons now managed to get a hit out of it. A little bit of chaos, but get it over. Strasburger now to the outside again to Gravengood. Swung off the block. NIU keeps it up. Hayes now with an attack. Hayes misses to the outside. Was there a touch? No. It would be a point for the Falcons. And the lead is cut down to just one, 9-8.
BG staying in it, staying steady. Anders to serve.
The steady hand of her serve puts it over. McCartney digs it out easily. Strasburger puts it to Hayes. Hayes didn't get it off the BG block, put it into the net. And so the score will be all tied up at 9 points apiece. Anders back to serve. Waiting on a rotational change by NIU. Checking into the game now is number 10, Eva Finesse, the freshman. As Anders now puts it over the net. Dug out by Tinsky. Set up by Strasburger. Dug out now. Flynn's attack by Lauby. Tabak will take the attack. That's dug out by NIU. Now an attack from Gravengood. He's going to go off the block. And it will be a point for the Huskies, so they retake the lead. As now Flynn will go back to serve. And Alvin will take her place in the front row at the middle position. Flynn puts it over. Anders digs it out. Hernandez, though, forced to bump set to Hobson. That's kept up. Still kept up. Put back over. The point's still alive. It was whistled dead, but they play on. The refs are going to replay the point. They blew it dead too early. A great pancake by Maria Tabak to keep that ball up. And Sydney Hernandez, one-handed, swung at the ball like a bat and put it back over.
Andrew, with the replay system, if the point is called dead and they keep playing, they go back to challenge whether or not it was dead. What goes on?
They replaying the point here as that ball by Flynn will sail out of bounds. So an opportunity for NIU to take a 2-point lead is wasted because the officials blew the play dead too early. You have to think that NIU is upset about that one. Score is now tied up at 10 apiece. As Kendall Williams now for the Falcons puts it over the net. Gravengood now with an attack for the Huskies. It's going to go out of bounds, though. No touch. And the Falcons will take a lead here. And a timeout for NIU from head coach D'Amore. And we're going to take the timeout with them. You're listening to Falcon Volleyball here on Falcon Radio.
You are listening to Falcon Volleyball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
For the second straight year, Falcon Media Sports Network is partnering with WBGU PBS to broadcast Falcon men's and women's soccer matches. Tune in to WBGU PBS YouTube's live streams to hear Lucas Kleinmeyer, Henry Costco, and other Falcon Media Sports Network talent on the call.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Welcome back to the Stroh Center as the Falcons are up 11-10 over the Huskies. Here in this third set, Falcons up 2-0 in the match. Currently leading the Falcons in kills is Jessica Andrews with 10. She's also leading the match as Kendall Williams, another middle blocker, puts it over. Picked up by NIU. They put it back over. Falcons return the favor. Ball still up in the air as NIU will now get a tip, and Gravengood puts it nicely in the corner. A nice tip play by her. And a nice kill to tie things up at 11 apiece.
Gravengood able to get the kill. Not just that on the stat sheet. Things are looking up for the Huskies.
Schultz now back to serve. As the Falcons will get an attack, but Tabak goes off the net, not off the block. And so that will be another point for the Huskies, and they will take back their lead. As Schultz is back to serve again. Another nice float by her. This one dug out by Anders. Tabak now with a set to Hobson on the opposite side of the court, and it's going to get a kill for Hobson. What a set by Maria Tabak. Taking that ball from Belle Laube, calling her off, and a cross-court set by the right side hitter. As now she and Laube will check out of the game for Shatek and Andrews. Shatek is back to serve. Shatek was named the best server in the Polish state championships back when she was in high school. And an overpass on her serve by NIU will be swung on by Wilford, and Wilford gets herself a kill off the mistake of the Huskies.
Wilford deciding to do it herself, sees the opportunity and sends it away.
Shatek now hoping to replicate that serve and force another overpass. Just off the tape, doesn't quite get over. Looked to hang in the air for a second on the tape, but falls down on the Bowling Green side. 13-13 the score in the third set. Now to serve is Gravengood. A nice serve by her, drops it within the 10-foot line, but Anders digs it out. Hobson now with an attack, and a kill by Hobson, tucking it in between the block and the net.
Hobson, exactly what she was planning on doing there, sees the opportunity, executes. That's good court vision.
It seems that every single one of these sets in this match has been close, and this one is no different. 14-13, back and forth, as now an attack from McCartney will go out of bounds, as the Falcons will take that point as well. 15-13 now, building a bit of a lead. Can they capitalize on this momentum? Hobson puts it over. Tinsky picks it up. Set by Schultz to McCartney on the outside. Hobson with a nice dig. Shatek to the outside to Vozvavchik, who's blocked by Alvin. She says not today and limits that BG run to 2.
And it's interesting to see how the Huskies are adapting to the changes that BG made at halftime.
Tinsky now with a serve of her own. The libero places it nicely, but Hernandez digs it out. Jessica Andrews now tries to tip it over the block, but misses everything. It flies out of bounds. And the score is all tied up again, this time at 15 points apiece.
Andrews just got a little too under that one. Sent it the long way.
Tinsky puts it over again. Shatek with the set back to Andrews. Tips it over. As there will be a net violation by the Huskies, and the Falcons will take that point. Hernandez now back to serve for the Falcons. The sophomore from Bloomington, Indiana, puts it over. Schultz sets it up to her middle, Flynn, and Flynn puts it down. Autumn Flynn is on a tear.
You think about the downward velo of these spikes. Hernandez not able to get to all of them, but the ones that she does get to, fairly admirable.
It's very impressive if you're able to pick any of these up, as they're typically ripped at about anywhere from 70 to 80 kilometers an hour. As now this tip attempt by McCartney on an out-of-system play by the Huskies will go into the net and fall to the floor. So the Falcons will take back the lead 17-16. Isabel Lauby now back to serve.
You'd be correct. Lauby back to serve. Falcons take back the court after the substitution.
Lauby tosses it up, puts it over. It's going to fly just out of bounds. Was targeting Tinsky, hoping she would put a hand on that one, thinking it was in, but it floats out of bounds. A good call by her, and help from her teammates to communicate that that ball was out.
BG trying to play with the libero's judgment.
As McCartney now served, BG keeps it up. Lauby to Vozvovchik, who rolls it over. Dig from Strasburger. McCartney forced to set. Graven good off the block. NIU keeps it alive. Now an attack on the outside, on the right side by Finessi. Falcons keep it up. Vozvovchik now puts it over. NIU keeps it up again. Strasburger to Graven good. Lauby now with a set to Tabak, who's unable to put that one over. A bad set by Lauby, and she knows it. Taking the blame there. A great teammate, Isabel Lauby. Always looking for what more can she do, what more can she do on the floor. Never played setter before and has come in and played setter very well for the Falcons here with Hovey and Otten out. As NIU tips this one over, Vozvovchik going to get a swing on it after the Falcons kept it alive, but it's going to fly out of bounds. Too much palm on that one, not enough spin, and it floats too far out. So now the Huskies have taken the driver's seat, 19-17, and a timeout from Coach Del Piamba. We'll take it with her. You're listening to Falcon Volleyball on Falcon Radio. We'll be back right after this.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Hey everybody, this is Kevin Hutchinson, host of The Swoop.
And this is Brooke Blake, executive producer for The Swoop. The Swoop is BG24's sports talk show about all things BGSU athletics.
New episodes come out every Thursday at 6 p.m. at bgfalconmedia.com.
We are back here in the Stroh Center as the Falcons look to get 4 straight wins over NIU, happening over the past 2 seasons. Last 2 were both sweeps on the road at NIU. Now looking to get this win here and secure those 4 in a row. As NIU manages to keep this point alive after a nice swing by Vozvovchik. Now Tabak with a swing. That's kept up by NIU. Gravengood with a nice tip over. Falcons, though, now with a free ball. Tabak now swings again off the block, kept up. Flynn on the middle attack, and it falls to the middle of the floor. Lauby and Hobson can't get there. Falls right in between them.
Hobson about 2 inches separating her fist and the ball. Not able to complete, but nonetheless, still solid effort.
McCartney now with a nice serve, but it's dug out nicely by Hobson. Vazvavchik with a swing. Flynn blocks it, then keeps it up. Gravengood now with a swing that's blocked by the Falcons. They keep it alive, though. Another opportunity for her. Blocked again to the floor by Tabak and Williams.
Exactly what BG's looking for. Coming back. Now, only trailing by 2. They've seen themselves in this position plenty of times before in this match. Are they used to it?
They have been a comeback team a lot of this season. As Avery Anders will serve this one over in Autumn. Flynn will get another opportunity up the middle and tuck it into the corner. She has been playing phenomenally through not just yesterday, but now into today. Been very impressed with her play. She has herself 7 kills on 18 total attacks. A very good percentage. As Belle Lauby now sets Avery Hobson, who gets herself a kill. Lands it on the back line. Flynn thought it was out. She may be playing great at the middle position, and the back row being a middle can be very intimidating and very difficult. If you don't play back row enough, it can be very difficult to tell if a ball is going to go out or stay within the lines. Flynn unable to judge it there. And Bozic now back to serve again for the Falcons. Been coming in as a pinch server this game. As now Strasburger will set it up for Finesse, who puts it over. The Falcons keep it alive, giving NIU a free ball. They get another attack. Hobson thought Lauby was going to run to it. Lauby thought Hobson was going to run to it, and they just let the ball fall to the floor.
Lauby dove forward at the last second. I think she kind of realized, okay, this isn't going to work out like how I thought it was going to work out initially.
I need to get there.
I need to get there now. Yeah, exactly.
22-19 now the score for NIU. Back to serve is Kylie Schultz. Yet again, puts it over. Anders digs it out. A nice dig. Lauby now sets it to Hobson with a rip. Tinsky picks it up. Set by Schultz. Kept up by the Falcons, though, is the attack. And Wilford now with a kill. Up the middle for the Falcons this time.
Falcons inch closer and closer to securing the dub. Still down 2. Need to make up some damage, but without a doubt, the Falcons are feeling it.
The Falcons reach 20 points. It's 22-20. NIU leads. Falcons up 2-0 in the match. It looks as if NIU has called their first timeout of the set. We're going to be right back with you here on Falcon Radio after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Women's tennis stays in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and travels to Maple Street Courts to take on the Crimson Hawks of Indiana University of Pennsylvania for the first time in program history on Sunday, October 12th at 10 a.m. Check out the recap of the match by Falcon Media Sports Network's Dawson Pelter and more content at bgfalconmedia.com.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces more feature stories about BGSU athletics than any other media outlet. Make sure to head over to bgfalconmedia.com and follow Falcon Media Sports Network at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date with all of our content.
And welcome back here for more BG Falcon Volleyball on Falcon Radio. As the Falcons are looking to make a comeback here of 2 points, down 22-20 in the third set. to NIU. They're up in the match, however, 2-0. Looking to close this out, hoping to get a sweep while NIU is looking to stay alive. Tinsky digs out the serve from Shatek. Swung on by Gravengood. Blocked but kept alive by Dowd. Now a back row attack that's going to go into the net. McCartney with a miss swing. And the Falcons now down by 1. Shatek goes back to serve again.
Only 1 point separating the Huskies and the Falcons.
Shatek puts it over. Picked up. Set into the air. Another back row attack. And another mistake by the Huskies. McCartney was over the 10-foot line on a back row attack. And that's going to tie things up here. 22 points apiece in the third set.
Keep in mind, Huskies cannot meet. 0 timeouts left. BG still lingering with 1.
That is correct. They can't quell the momentum that BG is starting to build. As now a swing by Gravengood. Looking for a touch, not going to get it. It fell out of bounds. Will there be a challenge? Yes, there will be. We're going to keep it here as the referee, David Burns, takes a look at it.
So they will use this time to meet, contrary to what I just said. Regardless of whether or not the challenge is successful or not, still anybody's game to win. 23-22. If it's overturned, it's going to be 22-23. We'll see what happens here. Really interested to see what the official calls here, but then again, not really a lot of time for NIU to reconvene. All the time in the world for BG, however.
It's 23-22 as it stands right now, and it will remain that way. Challenge is unsuccessful. No touch there. As 23-22, the Falcons approaching match point. Huskies looking to stay alive. Shatek back to serve. The back row for the Huskies is Gravengood, McCartney, and Tinsky. Shatek puts it over. Dug out by McCartney, set by Schultz, swung on by Dowd. And Dowd with a nice kill. The freshman coming alive.
Huskies bring it back 23-23. Back tied up. Huskies are going to anchor with the serve.
Huskies, a much-needed point there, and they got it as Gravengood now with another light float that gets over. Andrews dugs it out nicely, though. And Jessica Andrews with a rip down the middle. Wilford acted as a decoy. Andrews was behind her, and now it is match point 24-23 for the Falcons here in the Stroh Center. Everyone on their feet saying just one more point as Hobson is back to serve. She tosses it up, puts it over. Set up by Schultz and put out of bounds. Was there a touch? No, there was not. And the Falcons take the win in sweeping fashion over the Huskies.
And that's going to do it for the Huskies in the Falcons series here at the Stroh. No Otten, no Hovey. Falcons still get it done regardless. Shetek stepping up in a big way for Bowling Green. Jessica Andrews, 12 kills up at the net. Hobson with 11. Very spread out from the Falcons today. Shetek stepping up for Otten into the role fairly exceptionally. 24, leading all assists in the match. 4 service aces spread out, both 2 and 2 for both teams. Jessica Andrews also leading Bowling Green in blocks. She's in a 3-way tie with Helen Wilford, Kellen Williams, Riley Alvin for NIU, leading the game in blocks. But name of the game are the name of the game are digs, primarily keeping points alive. Sydney Hernandez currently does lead the match for Bowling Green, and in total 14 digs. Great game from both opponents. We said it was going to be pretty close at the beginning here, and while it does go 3 sets, the set scores do not tell the full story. Very close.
May have been a sweep, but the Falcons won 25-23, 25-22, and then 25-23 again. So every single set was very, very close. Huskies played a lot more complete game, a lot better game than they did yesterday. It's just the Falcons took advantage of the mistakes where they could and came out with the win, a much-needed win for the Falcons. We'll be right back in just a few moments here with an interview with assistant coach Chelsea Carter of the Falcons. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Falcon Radio.
BGSU women's soccer returns home to take on the Miami, Ohio Redhawks on Sunday, October 12th at 1 p.m. at Cochran Stadium. The Falcons are coming off a tie as they are right in the middle of MAC play. BG has not lost to Miami since 2015, going 7-0-2 against the Redhawks over the past 10 years. Tune in to the WBGU PBS YouTube channel for Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer and Henry Costco on the call.
Ever wanted to hear what a BGSU coach or player says after a game? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to watch post-game press conferences for all BGSU home volleyball, soccer, football, hockey, and basketball games.
BGSU women's soccer will travel to DeKalb, Illinois to face the Northern Illinois Huskies on Thursday, October 16th at the NIU Soccer and Track and Field Complex. The Falcons defeated the Huskies last season 2-1 when the Huskies visited Cochran Stadium. The Falcons are 2-0-3 on the road. Check out bgfalconmedia.com following the match to read the recap and additional content.
And welcome back here to the Stroh Center as the Falcons have beaten the NIU Huskies in sweeping fashion, winning both matches in this series at home. I'm here with assistant coach Chelsea Carter. Chelsea, how do you feel about the match today and how it went?
I think what happened today is exactly what we expected. We knew NIU was going to come out and have another punch to give us, and it was a battle all three sets. And we knew that they had a lot more weapons that they were going to use, and they turned those up. They really tried to take away Jessica Andrews' offense for us by serving short. And I think early on it kind of startled us a little bit, and we were prepared for it. And then they would go away from it, come back to it. So I think them short serving was really brilliant. It slowed her down from last night hitting 700 to tonight hitting 300, which is still an amazing hitting percentage. She's definitely someone that has been a big staple for us offensively. Belle Labby can't speak highly enough about her. And Maria, she killed today. She had a great offensive game.
Tava came in and had herself a match, absolutely. And Jessica Andrews stepping up big time. I noticed you guys seemed to try to do a disguised attack from her. Had Wilford come in.
Yes.
And then as a decoy.
Yeah, in
what
row.
What was the mindset behind trying that attack, trying to throw that out there?
In row one, Jessica has to run all the way from zone 4 all the way to zone 2, so pretty much sideline to sideline for her to be able to hit the slide attack. So if they serve short, that clogs that, and she can't go across the court. So we actually practiced her hitting in front of the setter and really overloading their defense. So we would run Jessica in front, Helen in front, and then we'd also have Hobbs hitting in front. And it worked out really well. The 5 that we set, she did really well on. So
it did work very well, especially at the end there. Got a nice kill for Andrews. And Coach, I also want to ask about the serving, not just by you guys, which was great yesterday and was great today as well, but also you mentioned the serving by the Huskies. A lot of light serves just getting over the net to kind of throw you guys out of rotation. How did you guys adjust to those and try to limit their damage?
We definitely had one of the nugs, so it was either Avery Anders or Sydney Hernandez on top of that. So it's like, hey, this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to pass it. We practiced it in serve and pass today, and they handled it with grace. I will say, shout out, you'll never believe it, Andrew, 53 digs to their 45. Pretty happy about that. Pretty happy about how we scrapped. We only had 9 blocks. They only had 8. But I think something that isn't on this stat sheet is even though we had 53 digs, our block was affecting them really like a lot. We were getting some slowdowns. We were able to run our offense in transition a little bit better. So, yeah, really proud of the 53 digs.
And, Coach, on to the next, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another series here, 2-game against Ball State next week. Ball State, undefeated team in the MAC right now.
Mm-hmm.
What is the preparation for that matchup going to look like? They're a great offensive team as well, probably even higher octane than this NIU team.
Yeah, I think prepping for Ball State, one thing that's going to be really nice is actually being able to have time to practice this week. We had 1 day of practice, played Toledo, and then we were kind of having to recover from that as well as prepare, and we were more than prepared for Toledo and NIU, but now we have a full week of practice, so we're able to kind of like scout them, be able to be ready for that offense, but also like being able to settle into who we are because we have a new lineup right now, and being able to put those people in roles, practice those roles, practice some scenarios of like what is Ball State going to see from this NIU game. If I'm watching this game, I'm going to service short a lot and try and take Jess out as much as I can. I'm going to try and go at our right back so they're out of system as much as we can. There's the things that I would do, and I definitely think that's what NIU tried to do today, so it's not like it's a secret. So there are some things that we got to work out and crisp up on our end this upcoming week in preparation for Ball State.
Absolutely, and Coach, thank you so much for the interview, as always. Good luck against Ball State next week, and congratulations on the wins yesterday and today. I will see you later, and we will be right back after this short break. Coach?
Thank you, Andrew. Hi, Ziggy.
Hi, Ziggy. We'll be right back here for a short recap on Falcon Radio. Don't go anywhere.
Hey everybody, this is Kevin Hutchinson, host of The Swoop.
And this is Brooke Blake, executive producer for The Swoop. The Swoop is BG24's sports talk show about all things BGSU athletics.
New episodes come out every Thursday at 6 p.m. at bgfalconmedia.com.
Falcon Volleyball are home at the Stroh Center to take on the Northern Illinois Huskies on Friday, October 10th. The Orange and Brown are playing the second match of a 4-match homestand. The Falcons have won 2 straight and 3 of the past 4 matchups against the Huskies. Tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network's Andrew Smith and Aiden Bruick on Falcon Radio, streaming on bgfalconmedia.com.
Welcome back one last time tonight from the Stroh Center. I'd like to give a few shout-outs before I end the broadcast tonight. First of all, I'd like to shout out my broadcast partner, my color commentator, Aiden Bruick, and a great job that he did tonight. I'd like to shout out Artie Abrego, who's been board opping the game tonight, sitting in the studio, pressing all the buttons, making sure we sound great on air. And I'd also like to thank Lucas Kleinmeyer and Tyre Kavlitz, who are directors at Falcon Media Sports Network, for giving us all these opportunities, given me all these opportunities to call these games and to cover this Falcon volleyball team. And lastly, I'd like to thank Carl Smith and BG Volleyball for giving me and the other volleyball beat, Ben Korak, all the opportunities to travel with the team, to call these games, to cover the team, and to interview the players. It has been a lot of fun so far and a lot of fun to come. That's all for now. Tune in next week as BG will be back here in the Stroh Center taking on the MAC leading Ball State Cardinals. For now, so long and good night. I'm Ziggy.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to bgfalconmedia.com.